What is up, my guys, and welcome back to the channel known as Azure. As always, I'm your most endearing host, Daniel. And before we get into the video, you already know what I gotta do. Get rid of that YouTuber BS. So, if you like my stuff, you know what to do. Don't like it, you already know what to do. Questions, comments, concerns, you already know where to put them. And as always, links to Twitch and Instagram will be in the description below. Again, not sure about Discord, but we'll see how this goes. Anyways, let's get into the video. WandaVision episode 9, season finale, or possible series finale. Who knows, really? So yeah. I'm just going to give you a quick episode rundown real quick before I get into my thoughts, because I have a lot of thoughts about this. So, episode 9 kicks off right where episode 8 left off naturally, where we see Wanda and Agatha about to fight. That happens. While that's happening, Hayward unleashes the white vision and goes in for him to go into the hex and so on and so forth. Vision is still on the way to go meet Wanda. Well, I want to say fake vision now. Yeah, fake vision or color vision. Yeah. Color vision, white vision. No. That's a huge mistake right then and there. So yeah. Okay. So I guess I would say vision A for fake vision and vision B for white vision. So vision A is still trying to find Wanda, while vision B is going inside the hex to confront Wanda. So that happens. Jimmy Woo gets arrested by Hayward, and then so the chaos ensues. Wanda and Agatha fight. This leads to her pushing Agatha into a house. The whole Wicked Witch of the West style like that, where instead of a house is a car, and you see just the boots left there. It's a little nod to whatever, I forget the name, Wizard of Oz, or why did I forget the name? Wizard of Oz. Either way, that happens. Wanda sees White Vision, and he asks Wanda, and then as she says yes, White Vision puts a hand on her face. It's a trick, really. Everyone thinks it's a lovey-dovey thing. I didn't buy it for a minute because I know White Vision's just the analytical side of the regular Vision. So that happens. He ends up putting both hands on her face and starts crushing her head. Really, I was like, well, okay, this is getting serious. We're about to have a big old fight, all free for all type style. But nope. Right as Vision's about to crush her head, the other Vision comes in, and they start to fight each other. Like, it's really like a whole Vision v Vision fight, which is interesting, really. Like, I didn't really think that would actually happen, honestly. I thought what was going to happen would be that White Vision comes into play, Wanda starts to get all sad and stuff, which she kind of did. She did really get kind of sad, relief even. So that happened, but nope, it didn't happen like that. So yeah, while that's happening, Wanda's kids come back and they're like, what do we do? And then Wanda says, go inside the house, go wait there. As they're doing that, not Hayward, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Wanda goes to fight Agnes again, but then she gives a whole rundown of what the Scarlet Witch actually is. She opens up one of the books, I think it's called the Book of the Damned, not really sure. And so yeah, she opens up that book and gives the whole prophecy of the Scarlet Witch, saying that she's even more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, which i.e. is basically her telling that she's stronger than Doctor Strange. So yes, I guess this is Marvel's way of confirming that she's the strongest Avenger, or the strongest person in the MCU, in a sense, really. So yeah, that goes on to say that, and then the Scarlet Witch is meant to destroy the world and so on and so forth. So Agatha tries to take Wanda's power, and that's what the whole fight's really about. As this is going on, the fight's going on, they go to the center of the town where we see all the people. Agatha releases them from Wanda's control, and they all know that they're part of a sitcom, really. Like, they all know that it's like episode based in a sense. It was kind of weird, kind of not weird, really. But yeah, Wanda realizes what she's been doing is actually hurting the people when she thought in reality she was saving them. But no, she opens the hex a bit for everyone to leave. That's when Hayward uses that to go into the hex to stop Wanda. And as that's happening, we see Monica Rambeau not really fight fake Pietro, who we realize is an actor that Agatha hired. I don't know if I mentioned that in the previous videos, but yeah, technically she's mind controlling the guy into thinking he's Pietro, but he's really not. So yeah, that happens on a little C note, side story kind of thing. Like, all in all, while this is happening, Vision and the White Vision are just talking. Well, not talking. They're fighting and talking at the same time, in a sense. So yeah, back to the whole thing with fighting with Agatha and everything like that. So it's a whole big fight scene. Like, it gets to the point where the kids come back and they try to fight Hayworth and everything like that. They kind of win, really, because since one of them has Quicksilver's powers, they just take all the stuff. They take all their guns and everything like that before they could use them. And then what's it called? Hayworth tries to shoot the kids. Really, like, you're gonna try to shoot someone who's super fast. As I guess you saw the Ultron footage and everything like that about Quicksilver dying from bullets, but no. Monica jumps in, And we see another bit of her power where she lets the bullets pass through her, but they lose all their inertia or their kinetic energy and stuff like that. They just fall to the ground. Then Hayworth tries to run away. Darcy comes in and it crashes her car into Hayworth, and so that puts it into that. While that's happening, it's a whole round 2 with Vision and White Vision, because while that's happening, he's trying to comfort Wanda and saying like, yes, this is maybe not be real, but it's our home, and we need to fight for our home. It all goes to a huge climax between White Vision and regular Vision, where they're talking about the whole ship of Theseus, I think, or like they're trying to debate who's the actual Vision, because Vision's main directive was to kill the Vision, which he is the Vision, really. He's the main Vision's body, but he doesn't have the emotions. While fake Vision is the emotion, he's not the real body. So the whole thing with Theseus is that the ship that resides in the museum, where every time there's a piece of wood that has rot on it, it gets replaced with a new piece of wood. So if every single piece of the original ship had rot, they replace it, would it actually be the original ship? So that's the whole question that they propose to each other. It all leads up to the point where fake Vision ends up unlocking all the memories from the White Vision, and he begins to change and realize that, yep, he's the actual Vision, but he like he says, he doesn't have the Mind Stone, so he can't really be the actual Vision. So that happens, and really, like, he says, I am Vision, and flies away. Like, okay, that was kind of worth nothing, in a sense. All in all, then Agatha and Wanda have a huge fight, and as Wanda is technically feeding her more power because Agatha's trying to take it, in a sense. Well, not in a sense. She's actually taking it, really, and that causes Wanda to deteriorate. You see blackness crawling all over her hands, her getting old, like how it was in the beginning of episode 8, where we find, or 7 or 8, I think it was 8, yeah, where we see Agatha take the energy from her sisters and her mother from the Salem witch trials and everything like that. So that happens, but it's a trick, honestly. Like, it's where Wanda's intentionally missing some of her shots on purpose to create some runes that will cancel out Agatha's magic. Messed up Agatha right there. Yeah, they cancel out Agatha's magic, and she ends up kind of absorbing everything into her body. I don't know how she does it, but she does it. It's kind of a whole cop out in a sense. Really, like, okay, you didn't know you could do this, but you just tried doing it. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I'll get to that later. So yeah, that happens. Agatha's powerless now, and we see Wanda in the full getup of her new Scarlet Witch outfit, which honestly is actually pretty good. Like, I know I said this before about how it looks, how we saw the silhouette and everything like that, and it looks better than how it does her regular MCU stuff and her 90s stuff, and even her current day comic stuff. And yeah, it does. It looks good. It comes with the whole headpiece. Like, it's not showing the cleavage, which was Elizabeth Olsen's main concern about the whole costume, really, because like I did a little research mainly into the whole superhero costume type thing, where I found out that Elizabeth Olsen never really liked her Scarlet Witch outfit because it showed too much cleavage, or as opposed to everyone else, every other woman, I guess, in the MCU, like, they didn't show anything at all like that. Everything was full covered up in corsets and stuff, which she didn't mind the corset. It's just like the whole cleavage thing, which I get. Like, how are you just gonna single her out and like not have everyone else kind of be exposed in a sense? But yeah, now it's like a full on corset, necktie, and everything like that. It looks good, actually. It does look good. I mean, it's a nice costume. So yeah. After that, the whole Agatha gets trapped into being Agnes and stuff, because Scarlet Witch is like, well, yeah, I'll give you the position you chose yourself, the nosy neighbor. While Agatha's begging for her life not to go into that thing, she says, oh, I could teach you everything you need to know. She's like, then Wanda's like, oh, if I need you, I know where to find you. And that's literally just a fucking badass line. It's like, yep, you know this is going to happen no matter what, so there's no use of fighting it. I always like lines like that. Like, there's no point in begging for your life. You already know the outcome of what's going to happen. So yeah, you can't really change the person's mind once they've already made it up to that point. So yeah, that happens. And then WandaVision and the kids go all the way back to their house. And Vision's like, it's time. And Wanda begrudgingly says she knows. They tuck the kids in bed. And as she's doing this, Wanda kind of pulls the hex back into herself. And she has one last conversation with Vision. And she's actually starting to get over the whole grieving process, and so on and so forth. So she's taking the whole thing into herself. The kids disappear first, and she says her final goodbyes to Vision, and she absorbs him back into her heart, her soul, her mind, whatever it is. Not before answering the question of what Vision actually is, really. Like, because he does ask her, Wanda, what am I? Wanda responds with, you're a piece of the Mind Stone that resides within me when it gave me my powers. I admit, that's a pretty solid answer. Like, yeah, her powers came from the Mind Stone, so she should be able to conjure a vision from that. So yeah, that's kind of it's not a perfect explanation, but it's also not a terrible one. So I'll give it that. So yeah, the whole that ends. There's that's really like the whole main story ends. There's 2 end credit scenes after this. One mid credit and one final end credit. The first mid credit one shows Monica being recruited by a Skrull saying like, "Oh, you did so well on Earth. The big man wants to talk to you up there in space." And we all know who the big man is up there in space is. It's Nick Fury, basically. She gets a smile on her face and then cuts to the regular credits. Then skip to the end. You see that Wanda is actually in a cabin, kind of like how it was in Endgame, but not really the same cabin, where you see her walking around the cabin, but then you see her astral projection, which I guess she picked up from Doctor Strange in a sense, and she's reading the Book of the Damned and everything like that. And as she's doing that, we hear one of the kids' voice saying, "Mom, Mom, come help me," and stuff like that. So I guess that's supposed to lead into season 2 if this show does get a renewal. I kind of hope it does. I kind of hope it doesn't, because I kind of like how it'd be a limited series in a sense. But yeah, that's the whole episode breakdown, rundown, whatever you want to call it. Now let's get into my whole thoughts and opinions. I liked the episode. I really did. They didn't go exactly as what I thought it would be, and I'm really disappointed there's no Mephisto, but that last end credit scene could be Mephisto leading up to it, because really, I know I've said this before, but honestly, her kids are the main point of why this Mephisto theory was so popular with me. Honestly, pick up a single comic, or not a single comic, let me rephrase that. Pick up the comic where her kids are actually made and skip towards the actual reveal of how the kids are made, and then you'll find out that they're actually pieces of Mephisto's soul, really. That's how Wanda made the kids. She took part of Mephisto's soul to make a human body, since she couldn't make babies on her own, because, well, Vision's a synthezoid android, whatever you want to call him. He's not human. He can't give his DNA, because he has no DNA, really. So yeah, that was a big bummer. I really thought Mephisto was going to make an appearance or something like that. Or like, as the hex is pulling in, pulling into yourself, and you see Wanda coming to a conclusion that, yep, this is going to happen. You hear a voice and like, does this really need to be this way? And then you cut to Mephisto, and then you could have it stop right there. And then that could be a whole cliffhanger where it could lead to a season 2, and then that could be a good place to end. I'm not saying the ending was bad, but I'm also not saying it's the best possible ending if you want to start a season 2. Honestly, really, you could have just wrapped up most of the loose ends like that. Like with the whole White Vision thing, like you set it up for such a big thing, and all that really happened was he tried crushing Wanda's head. He fought Vision for a total of, I think, 2 minutes, and then they just talked, and then he flew away. Like, okay, kind of a waste, really. Like, this whole thing could have just been skipped over, really. Or you could just skip the whole Agatha thing and have Wanda be under the manipulation of Mephisto, and then have White Vision come and save her, and then Mephisto pulls some last minute BS and then traps her in something that would lead to a future season, or maybe into Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man 3, whatever you want to call it, yada yada yada, like that. That could have been better. I'm not trying to say this episode was terrible, but I'm also not trying to say this episode was all it was out chalked to be. Same thing with the whole last few episodes. Actually, there was so much build up in a sense that anything could have happened and people would be fine. Like, I'm fine with this. It's not the worst, it's not the best. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm just trying to make that clear that this, what we got, was not terrible, but also wasn't really that good. So yeah, there really could have been a lot of things like different about this. But yeah, I digress. I'm gonna stop saying that. And what I liked about this episode was the pacing was nice. It was a big concern of mine before about how it was paced. The time is about 50 minutes, so 50 to 40 minutes or something like that. So I'll give them credit for pacing it out as well as they did. Sure, some parts were a bit cut too short and something like that. Like the whole fight between Monica and the fake Pietro stuff could have been a little bit more fleshed out in a different episode rather than being a whole like 5 minutes in this one. Same with the whole Vision thing, with the whole White Vision thing. That could have been done better. Like, they could have gone into further detail of what they did to program White Vision with and directives and so on and so forth. Then we could have just had a whole episode with just Wanda and Agatha just talking like how it was in episode 8, but a little bit more characterization of fleshed out in a sense. Like, have her like try to have Agatha coerce Wanda into being a student where she could learn how to control her powers. Because if you just try to take someone's powers just like that, it's just like, of course they're gonna fight you on it. Like, honestly, like, and I guess she does try to say like, oh, let me teach you these, but I mean, she kind of said it too late, really. And so yeah, the whole Hayward thing was nice. Like, he always deserved, but again, like, they're kind of like stuffing too many villains into this series. Like, Either pick Agatha, pick Hayward. You can pick one of them. You can have both of them, but give them an equal amount of screen time, and giving them an equal amount of what's it called, characterization, really. Because like Hayworth, he goes from being a good guy to finding out what this is to kind of like, oh, let's kill Wanda right here, not in like a matter of seconds, like that, done. Let's kill Wanda, like okay. And then you have Agatha coming in at the last second, like okay, like oh, what the fuck is going on, like, and then I'm like okay, like seriously, I'm rambling because I'm like wondering what the fuck is going on, like yeah. So yeah, I'm saying really like this was a good attempt to expand what the MCU was, but I think the main reason that people were feeling different about this is because like it tries so hard to be different, but always ends up going back to the same formula that Marvel has established. And I get it, the formula works, but honestly, if the formula works so well, why branch out at all? Like, if you're gonna do experimental stuff, go all the way, all out, everything like that. I'll talk more about this once I do my whole season run through, because that's gonna be a longer video. But yeah, I'll leave it at this. Episode 9, it's titled series finale, so I'm kind of hoping it is a series finale in a sense, and they give Wanda her own solo movie, really. So yeah, that'd be better. So yeah, episode 9 was solid. Not the best in the season, but also not the worst. Honestly, I'm going back to the whole number grading thing right now, where I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. And that's really like the best I could do. That's benefit of the doubt wise, 8 out of 10. Only because of the 2 end credit scenes, really. Mainly just the last one, honestly, because that still like goes into the whole Mephisto theory, which I really wanted to happen. Because honestly, that's how if you bring Mephisto into this, that's how it's gonna tie into Spider-Man 3. Really, that's the only main concern I have, really. Because honestly, I know what they're trying to do with Spider-Man 3. I know the storyline they're gonna do. It's a terrible storyline, but if you bring Mephisto in, at least that will make more sense. So yeah, that's the whole thing with WandaVision. You guys really want to know what the episode consists of? Watch the video for yourself. Watch the movie for yourself. Show for yourself. My bad. I don't know why I can't talk right now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys like my stuff, you know what to do. Questions, comments, concerns, you already know what to do. Links to other stuff will be in the description below, and hopefully we'll get a second season of this, and well, maybe clear up some of the gripes I have about this one. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.